Spotify has been making some changes, and a new study on brain organoids are showing that they're even more sentient, along with scientists saying that glass bottles contain more microplastics than plastic bottles. In today's video, we're going to be reacting to the latest strange and more questionable clips that I could find on TikTok. Let's get into it.
People are freaking out after what Spotify have just done. Apple Music are officially cooked now. Even without having a subscription to Spotify now, you can listen to music. When you were on a free plan, you could only have like 5 skips and you couldn't search what music you wanted to listen to. Like, it was annoying, right? Couldn't really do that much on a free plan, so it forced everybody to upgrade. So people either upgraded or it was pushing people away to Apple Music, but not anymore. It looks like the platform is in a massive bid to try and completely dominate by doing this. With the new update that they've put out, it essentially means you can search whatever song you want to listen to and listen to it for free. Like, you don't have to pay at all. And people can now access pretty much all of the features that premium users can, but this has of course got premium users annoyed. Now, the one important thing to note is there is still a lot of ads that come on your songs when you're listening with a free plan. So if you're concerned about ads, which majority of people are when they're listening to music, yeah, you're still going to need premium. If you just want to be able to listen to some music without having to pay, you definitely can now, which is pretty crazy. They've also introduced a few other features such as DMs, like you can scroll on like a For You page and send music to people, which is kind of cool, I guess. Let me know your thoughts. Are you with Spotify or Apple Music?
Now, I do use Spotify, and I have enjoyed it ever since I have gotten it. Now, I've had Spotify for over a decade, and one of the main reasons why is because I was tired of not being able to pick select songs just whenever I wanted to. So that is pretty cool that you're able to do that now. Even though there's still ads, it is nice to be able to pick a song directly that you want to listen to. So I see this as a win. It just sucks that there's still ads.
So family found a portal in Wisconsin. This is crazy because nobody's ever seen the forest. Check this out. Look at this picture. They had found this portal that looked like it was the ocean on the other side of it. It looked like there was sand with rocks and ocean if you look at it, and they were in the forest. So it made no sense. People were like, well, I'm not going through that. But the brother of the family wanted to check it out, wanted to try it, and he just literally jumped in. He was a teenager. Just literally jumped in. When he jumped in, he looked around and he saw that there were other people there. And they were his family, but they were older. And they said, you weren't supposed to be here. You guys don't understand this technology yet. You have to go back. So he looked back through the portal and he saw his entire family there, except they had aged like 20 years and they're looking back at him and he's looking at them. He's like, oh my God, well, I guess I should go back. And they're like, you have to go back as soon as possible because they're aging. So he jumps back through the portal and he sees that his mom and his dad and his sister had all aged like 20 years. Meanwhile, he's still like a teenager. And they're like, what the hell happened? And he's like, I don't know what the hell happened with you guys. And it was really unfortunate. This is the report. And what was the ultimate outcome? Basically ended up having to go seek some assistance. And it was a big deal. But yeah, what do you think? It's a very interesting story. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what I read. So what do you think? Do you think these portals can take us into the future? Do you think they can take us into different times? Put your comment in the comment section. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Lock on yourself, Peach.
I had to look into this story, if you will. I do not know where he is getting this story, but I did end up finding the video that he used as a image reference.
Plenty of times. This is no big deal to you, but to
Yeah.
me, this is like, it's amazing. I can't even fathom.
Light can't really get through. You're not going to feel anything. You're not going to smell anything until the surface is literally breached. The locale on that side will equalize with the locale on this side, and then you're good to go. You can kind of see like a glow happening, but again, you're not going to get anything more than that until you touch it. And once you do touch it and the surface is breached, this portal becomes self-sustained for like 2 hours.
So as you could tell, that video was a few years old, and it was of 2 guys talking about this portal and how it works. Nothing about a family, nothing about a kid jumping through it. So I'm pretty certain that he either read that story falsely online or he made it up for the video. And as far as this portal video goes, it looks 100% fake.
Do you remember last year when a company that was funded by the Australian military immersed tiny human brains grown in jars in Game World, demonstrated that they were sentient, but also kind of sort of created the Matrix? Well, it's gotten a lot better. What you're seeing behind me is a virtual world where brain organoids were given a butterfly body. They're receiving sensory input from a game world. They weren't trained or taught to do this, they were just given the body. If they were to think they were anything, they would probably think they're a butterfly. Yes, this is the very same Swiss company that is selling brain organoid computation as a subscription model where you can rent out 16 tiny brains and have them work for you. This is truly an amazing feat in computation, engineering, and biological sciences. But we are essentially creating and perfecting the Matrix. I actually found out about this because Final Spark let me join their Discord, and I'm waiting for them to regret it. Please don't kick me out of Discord. If this kind of progress happened in a year, imagine where we'll be in 10. This tells us a lot about how we can connect a human brain to machines. They also sent me this video. This is one of the very first brain organoid robots. This all happened around 2008. A brain in a jar is remotely controlling this little guy here. This is what happens when we give them sensory input in the real world. I've also been informed that these are technically cyborgs. I really give it just 1 year before somebody pops it into a humanoid robot if it hasn't already been done.
I think that this is kind of freaky, and it's only a matter of time before they put some kind of language model on it to where it can actually speak. I'm not gonna lie, I'd be a little interested to hear what it has to say. One, I want to know how it thinks. What does it think? What language does it think in? That kind of stuff I am a little curious on. And I am sure that it's only a matter of time before someone makes that happen to where you get those answers. But still, it's a little weird. I feel a little uncomfortable about this, but it also intrigues me and fascinates me. The future is going to be wild if these get implemented into robots. Hey, if you haven't done so already and you're enjoying the show, give it a like. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. I upload a video like this every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. And for everyone that's subscribed and or watching, thank you so much for supporting the channel.
Peter Thiel, he's doing a 4-day seminar on the Antichrist.
What?
I read this article by Christianity Today about the Acts 17 ministry. I think their intentions are good. They want to reach the tech industry with the gospel. The husband of the founder of Acts 17, he used to work for Peter Thiel at Palantir, and they went over to one tech industry dude's house to do like this house church, and Peter Thiel was there, and Peter Thiel just started talking about the Antichrist and stuff. And apparently all these Silicon Valley tech dudes were just like, we didn't know Peter Thiel was a Christian.
Peter Thiel is a libertarian, and there's a professor that he studied under. A lot of his quotes regarding Christianity are direct quotes from this professor. The professor and him are very, as far as like the Antichrist and stuff like that, there's this tension between the apocalypse coming and the Antichrist is the hero that saves everyone from it. His entire thing is like something's gonna happen that makes you choose one or the other. But he defines himself as far as his own religious views as a heterodoxical Christian. It's the same root as heretic. He doesn't believe you need to evangelize. He's like, my faith is real for me. I don't need to convince you of it. You cannot call yourself a believer. And the last thing that Jesus said after his 3 years of ministry, death and resurrection, he says, go and make disciples of all nations, teaching them to obey the things I've commanded you. You cannot be a follower of that human and say, I don't have to teach you to obey. It's in direct defiance. I think there is a political advantage that he's trying to pull from this. You either believe in the Jesus of the Bible or you don't believe in Jesus.
There's a big difference between having conversations and then being put up as a teacher and learning. Bible's very clear. People who teach should be very careful.
One of his arguments for like transhumanism, what I believe I got from it was his excuse was that Christians are transhumanism. It's the renewal of the spirit. You become a new person. Your soul is transformed. You're a transhuman.
You're not living. It's Christ that's living through you.
So that's almost like an excuse. And I'm like, this sounds like the Antichrist. That's why I like talking about it so much, because it's him.
I do not know much about Peter Thiel. I just hear a lot of people talking about him. He's kind of up there with Kenneth Copeland. To me, he is not as disturbing looking as Kenneth Copeland. If you were to ask me out of a lineup of people of who could be a demon in disguise, Kenneth Copeland's definitely the pick every time. But I do not know enough about this guy. I've not heard any of his preaching, so I really do not know anything about him. I just hear people talking about him through TikTok. So let me know in the comments, is this someone that you actually think it could be a bad guy? And or should I do a little bit further research on this guy and see how bad is he?
From cave paintings to space telescopes, mysterious anomalies have been recorded in our skies for as long as we can remember. Massive objects appearing to descend from above, often surrounded by beings kneeling in fear and awe. Many ancient texts like the Anunnaki, the Book of Enoch, the Mayan Popol Vuh, and the Vedas from Hindu mythology all warn of some form of all-powerful watchers that come down from the heavens and direct the course of humanity to their will. Today, deep space telescopes detect faraway visitors making their way towards us, like 3I Atlas, the enormous interstellar object set to pass by us in November, which many scientists have been warning exhibits characteristics of intelligent design. A pattern we've kinda seen recorded across thousands of years of human existence, etched into the walls of caves, stone tablets, statues, parchment scripts, books, and now the internet. Visitors that, according to their stories, fundamentally rewrote the trajectory of civilization as we know it. But don't worry guys, it's probably just a comet, right?
I do personally believe that it's just a comet. There's so much hype built up around this, and I'm just curious as to what the next thing is going to be after it passes by in sometime November, because I have a feeling that's just what's going to happen. Don't get me wrong, it would be completely jaw-dropping and mind-blowing to me if it was some kind of extraterrestrial life that made an appearance and made a stop by Earth. I would probably be speechless, but where it stands now, I'm pretty certain it's a meteorite or some kind of foreign space object just floating on by, and once it floats by, nothing will come from it. Let me know what you guys think about Atlas.
Here is something that I use that is a easy thing that's very effective for you to do to train your remote viewing skills. Go to the store and buy a newspaper. So go to your local convenience store and say there's a USA Today stand there, okay? So you know that it's always gonna be there. Pick up that paper, go home, flip to page 4. Now look at page 4, kind of get a feel for the type of stuff that's on page 4. Is it editorial, is it sports, whatever. Get into like a nice relaxed, hypnagogic, meditative state, you know, put on some binaural beats, you know, get in that nice chill state. And then think, tomorrow, I'm gonna go to the store and I'm gonna pick up the paper tomorrow. Think the date. Whatever the date is today, add 1 to it, that's tomorrow's date. I'm gonna go to the same store, I'm gonna get that USA Today, I'm gonna flip to page 4. What do I see? What is the head photo? What is the head article? What is on page 4 of that USA Today on that date? So remote view that. Just put your pen to a paper and do some automatic writing. Whatever words come out, whatever feelings, smells, sounds, sights. You know, do you see a headline? Do you get any impression at all, any emotion? Is it scary? Is it exciting? Is it terrifying? Is it sad? Is it funny? What is it? Write down everything that comes to your mind. And then tomorrow, go to the store, buy the USA Today, flip to page 4, compare the two. This is something anybody can do. I think you'll surprise yourself at how good you'll get at seeing the future.
Very interesting way to educate someone on remote viewing. I myself have never tried it, not really interested in trying it personally, but if you get really good enough at remote viewing, you might be able to remote view your way into the lottery. And I'm kind of curious as to why that's never happened or why that doesn't happen more frequently if remote viewing is a thing and people can do it. If there was a large collective number of people actually practicing remote viewing and trying to tell the future, and they utilized it to play the lottery, probably would have a lot of psychic winners. Kind of makes me wonder why psychics just don't do that in general if they have the ability to see the future. Unless the vision's just not that clear.
Is it possible that Antarctica is actually the lost continent of Atlantis? Well, a lot of people seem to think so. And could that be why the world's governments are exploring Antarctica? And they don't want people going down there? Watch this and decide for yourself, bitchkies!
Well, I definitely cannot play that whole clip if he's playing something directly from the History Channel. But as far as the theory goes that Antarctica being Atlantis, I really like that theory actually. I think that's a really cool theory. And I'm almost certain that under the ice there has to be something there. I'm not saying that there is a living ancient civilization, but there was probably someone or something there at the time before all of that ice.
Scientists have discovered that glass bottles contain more microplastics than plastic bottles. Glass has more microplastics than plastic, which seems extremely counterintuitive, and it is, but it's very real. We're going to cover the details in a second. This is bad because, in case you're unfamiliar, microplastic pollution is one of the most widespread public health problems facing the globe at the moment. There's plastic in almost everything we eat, drink, or breathe. It's been shown to be linked to a number of developmental difficulties in children and endocrine disorders and reproductive disorders in adults. So scientists in France wanted to test out alternatives, like how much better are alternatives, and when they looked looked into glass bottles, they were shocked to discover that glass actually had more microplastics than plastic. And the reason for this is a little bit shocking. They discovered that glass bottles have tiny scratches that are invisible to the naked eye, and that the friction between the caps and the bottles where they're stored actually causes scratches and pieces of plastic from the caps to decay and fall into the glass bottle. I'm supposing that since there is a difference in hardness and durability between the glass cap and the plastic cap, that twisting and using them in any way actually shreds off more microplastics for glass bottles than for a traditional plastic bottle. So weirdly, if you're worried about microplastic pollution or poisoning or any of those type of health concerns, drinking out of glass bottles is considerably worse for you than just drinking out of plastic ones. I really wish they would have tested aluminum cans too. This was not the result that I would have expected. Me and my turbo hippie self probably would have recommended glass as a good alternative, but as it turns out, it may not be. Or we might quite simply need to re-engineer the caps for glass bottles. Perhaps that will solve the issue here.
I rarely drink anything that comes out of a glass bottle, but the last time that I did, it didn't have a plastic top. It had an aluminum top to it. Now maybe there's a plastic coating on the inside of that top. If the cap is really what's causing all those microplastics, just get rid of the cap. There has to be another way that's more efficient than a microplastic based cap. Let me know what you guys think about this one.
Se me ha ocurrido algo. Bueno, ustedes me han dicho, me han recomendado algo.
This is the creator that has that little meteorite that's grown into the symbiotic looking creature. It keeps getting bigger and bigger and more active. Does he have strings attached to it? I wonder what he is using to make it move, because ever since it started to develop the symbiote, it's always had something on it that's moved. Little fishy flaps, tentacles. It is like a moving, pulsating thing. Let me know in the comments on how you think he's doing that. I cannot believe on how big these videos have grown. This video alone has 1.3 million views, and it was just uploaded 19 hours ago. When he first started uploading these videos, they had way less than 100,000 views. The very first ones had way less than tens of thousands of views. He is really blown up because of this. So I definitely see why he's still going for it. I'm just really curious on how it's going to end. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and end today's video. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching these clips with me. If today's your birthday, happy birthday. And if not, have a good day anyways.